Hey, how it's going, guys? I have been exploring VO3 here and there, right? Google's newly launched media generation model, right, which can generate almost all the modalities of data, right? Audio, images, videos, so on and so forth, right? And it's crazy. I mean, one of the best models, I should say, right, in the recent times, that we have seen the VO3 which is not available in India right now, unfortunately. Of course, it's available in the United States, and of course, it's costly as well. Now, they have made it available on Vertex AI. I was going through a lot of demos of VO3. I was just seeing, you know, it's really that it's really that great. Like the people are being see, it's of course it's great. It's fantastic, but some people are like hyping it too much because it has problems, and I'll show you the problems. Okay, of course these are all fine, right? You can see VO3, high quality video generation with audio. There are some cool videos that how companies are already using it. If you look at this guy,
According to this old sea chart, the lost island isn't myth. We must prepare an expedition immediately.
I mean, you can see right how realistic it looks like. People are saying that I mean, it's gonna wiped out the Hollywood when it comes. Yeah. So different types of model, VO3, Lyria, Imagen, and so on and so forth. But this video, right? This video caught my attention, and I want to highlight this that it's a fantastic thing. It's we are going to a unpredictable era of AI, right? And of course not AGI as of now, but if you look at this video carefully, let me just play this, okay? And this I got it from Syllabi, this company that creates some videos, right? They're like a startup, right? And if you look at this,
Why aren't you using syllabi?
if you look at this guy here, right? I mean, there's one person who comes from the back, okay, wearing a Syllabi t-shirt. Of course, they are promoting it, marketing it. I'm not promoting them, okay, to be honest. Now, if you look at this guy right here on wearing a specs, if you look at this guy right now wearing a specs, look at the angle that he turns, back, and look at the specs now. It will disappear if you look at closely. This is one of the examples. There have been other examples that I've been looking at generated by VO3, which completely a messed up generation, right? And of course, this can happen. I'm not saying that it's 100%, uh, all like out of 100, it will have 100 fantastic media generation, right? It's not gonna probably happen at least now. It might happen in next 1 2 years. You never know. And by any means, I'm not criticizing anyone over here. I want to highlight a few things that how it can get solved. As per as my limited knowledge, because I'm doing a bit of study in that field. So if you look at here,
.com to make your videos for social media.
look at this guy, a 360-degree angle that it's not possible. Possible, but rare cases, you will probably die, right? I mean, look at a human anatomy standpoint, right? Look at the angle of this guy and where the specs. So specs disappeared. The movement, the turn, the angle, which is like a bit difficult to kind of that can happen, right? In real world by a human, right? From a human anatomy standpoint. Now,
Yeah. Hmm. I
you see
didn't know.
the spec is back, right? The moment he turns again back to normal, right? And I was like playing around. I really like this video. I just wanted to highlight a few problems
I didn't know that was possible.
with generative models, and I'll just play from here again so you can have a close look, have a look at carefully here.
Why aren't you using syllabi.com to make your videos for social media? Hmm. I didn't know that was possible.
Celebi.com, right? I mean that's
Why
fine.
aren't you using?
So that is good, but let's go through it. So I created a Notion PDF, right? I was going through it. I was like writing few things, reading how it can solved, right? This is the example scenario in this case, and I have created a few more documents that I'll put it on my GitHub repository, so you can go through it. If you look at that, I think memory is really important. The memory modules for each frames, like because these are frames when we do the object tracking, which is point number two. Physical constraints are fine because you have biomechanical constraints, right? You have to bring physics based rules in the generative models, the diffusion based model, or any other models that you are building, uh, you know encoder, decoder. in that architecture or the diffusion based models, any model, let's say, right? Bringing up physics based rules are really important. So that might be a way, because these learns from patterns, right? The models that we have been having, maybe not from actual human anatomy. Maybe the human anatomy are being uh, transformed into features. Of course, that feature becomes patterns, and that's of course a possibility. And that's how folks at these companies, the model providers like Google, DeepMind, and Anthropic or OpenAI, they do it. Of course, they have the all the knowledge and resources to do that, and they do it. So physical constraint may be a challenge. Constraints are there when you have human anatomy involved, right? It's very difficult at early stage for genetic models to kind of figure that out. Um, but that will get solved. I'm not saying that it will not get solved, but object permanence, I think, Ninance, is really important, because if you look at the glasses that disappeared in the mid skin, let's say in that 4 to 5 seconds scene, if there are, let's say, 10 frames, are can we you know create a memory modules in the model that will look at all the frames, that it will look at your earlier frames or the previous frames, right? So that memory modules, I think, is really important in the object tracking aspect. When you are doing, of course, these are object tracking, that's how they track, right? So I think this might be a very, very important thing to kind of solve these kind of problems. Why, you have seen it, right? Sometimes caps disappear, glasses are disappearing, and so on and so forth. So that's also important, I guess. Poor temporal coherence, I think this has been solved a lot. Adding temporal consistency losses or optical flow supervision for motions, with like the head turns, for example, that we turn, right, which is more of a temporal coherence that might be really poor. But VO3 has done an amazing job. I was talking about similar models. The agenda of creating this video is to highlight this topic. So if you are somebody who wants to do research in this field, these are the topics or areas that you should cover, right? How can I make this fit, right? Can we do fit to page? Yeah, this is better. So I was talking about poor temporal coherence, right? That is also important because AI generates each frame independently, right? And there is no memory module, as I said, right? So if you have been building a model, open source model, because VO3 will get it covered, right? Because they have like figured it out. They have already had reached a stage where they are doing wonders. Now imagine if the next release of VO3, it'll be crazy, right? So maybe that is something that we have to figure out. And lack of 3D understanding, because 2D models don't understand 3D spaces, different types of spaces, right? So integrating nerf is a great idea, I believe, if they would have already done it. But if you are also looking at to do it, maybe figure it out in this way. So you can see this is a bit old architecture. This architecture exactly might not fit into new world generation models that we have been looking at, like VO3, Image Gen, and any other model by Model Scope or any other thing. Like, let's ByteDance is creating different models in China, right? So, but this is how it is. We have to look at these components: memory unit for object consistency, physics engine for biomechanics thing, temporal module for coherence. We can look at that. I think this is really, really important. And 3D pose estimations and object trackers and whatnot. So very simple, high level, you know, component that have been stitched together to for somebody who wants to create an open source small generation model. Make sure that you are looking at these things. I created a summary table that how it can get solved. And my favorite is object memory, because I've been working in my personal capacity a little bit here and there to see how we can bring memory modules in the generative models that we have been training, right? Now, I've just created this document for you. I'll give this document, go and read it. And if you are working in that field, make sure that you don't make these kind of things, right? Issues. This also depends, of course, I said, right, patterns, the way that data, the patterns, the features that these models kind of use the techniques of noising, denoising, and so on and so forth in a generation process, right? So this might, it's easier to talk, guys. It's easy to say. We have to give the credits to VO3. Google has done a great job, and I think that's fantastic. So, just wanted to highlight this point on VO3, that how you can go through if you get such scenarios. If you look at something on Instagram or X, Twitter previously, or LinkedIn or Facebook, or even on anywhere on internet, and if you see such videos, please don't criticize them by saying that, okay, this is not good, this that. See, criticism is fine, but then we have to find out solution for the problem. So we identify the problems, then we solve it, right? We talk about it in the AI community and the AI ecosystem to empower the open source space. So that's why I wanted to create this video. I hope you liked it. Let me know your thoughts, your findings, feedbacks in the comment box. If you have any suggestions, because there are people in communities who might get benefited from your comment, right? So let's do that, right? And if you have any questions, thoughts, or feedbacks, you can also reach out to me direct through my social media channels directly. LinkedIn, Twitter, and Discord, WhatsApp, so on and so forth, right? So do that. If you like the video, please hit the like icon. If you haven't subscribed the channel yet, guys, please do subscribe the channel because that helps me to, create more such videos in near future. That motivates me, guys. That's all for this video. Thank you so much for watching. See you in the next one.